In Kenya, we've noticed that, no, not that we've noticed, it's now official that Ruto has dissolved his cabinet, I mean, with the exception of his vice or somebody like that, or his deputy.
His vice and his attorney general.
So everybody is gone. And the pressure from the citizens, the young people especially, seems to be the problem. It means that leaders need to sit up, don't they?
You know,
just 3 minutes on this. Everybody takes it.
This Kenya development is something that I think Ghana should learn from. Ghanaians and politicians should learn from. When the pressure started, the reaction of the government was to send police to go and beat people and actually kill people. And at the end of the whole incident, 30 people at least were reported to have been killed by the police. And what was the cause? The government was attempting to pass a bill to increase taxes. And what would be the immediate impact? All prices were going to go up because the taxes were going to be squeezed out of an economy that was already depressed. The young people don't have jobs, and prices keep rising, and the cost of living has become unbearable. So they said the government cannot pass this bill. The president insisted and was going to go ahead. So then what happened, happened. Now, at the time that the president had to cave in and dissolve his entire government, cabinet, basically, he himself was now outlining some of the reasons why there was that revolt. Corruption, arrogance of power, opulence of ministers, government officials, and so on and so on. Now, are you telling me that if these kinds of conditions exist in Kenya, and this has been the outcome, they don't exist in Ghana? Can anybody tell me that they don't exist? And that we in Ghana are immune? And then one of the things that Ruto is saying he's going to do is to form an inclusive government, and that people felt excluded. This is where sometimes you go around and you cannot deny the fact that the proposition that Alan Kyerematen is making to this country at this time, that we don't need an NDC government, we don't need an MPP government, we don't need a partisan government. These are the factors that have broken our society. We need a government of national unity headed by an independent, a person of integrity like Alan Kyerematen. Kenya is going through a crisis that, if right now, it's still not over. Anyway, it's still not over. The president, to appease the people, has sacked his cabinet. He says now he's going to form a government which represents various divergent interests, which is exactly the core message that Alan is sending to us right now. Our society has been so polarized. Our governments have performed so badly. Governance is at its lowest ebb. The economy is in a deeper hole than what it was in at 2001 when President Kufuor took over. The situation is very, very critical. And we don't just need to do business as usual. You need someone who clearly has demonstrated that I can put together a plan, and I have presented it to Ghanaians. This is what we need. We don't need to wait until the younger generation rises up in the streets for police to fire tear gas and kill people. In 2016, President Kufuor referred to the Arab Spring. This young man went and burned himself out of desperation.
In Tunisia.
And that, in Tunisia, today, those kinds of conditions that occasioned that very sad development are more than ripe in Ghana. So going to the polls, I think we need to think and think again. We need some radical change, not the same musical chairs of MPP and DC.
All right. Good time. He's used that. He's a broadcaster, so he looked directly into the camera, was communicating to the voters. So
except that Alan Kyerematen,
3 minutes for you.
Except
Kenya.
that Alan Kyerematen is not independent as he wants us to believe.
What do you mean?
You see, he's not independent. The man took part in the poor governance that we have seen ourselves.
So
but
who
it's
was
okay.
not part
It's
of
okay.
some poor
It's
governance?
okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Who is not part of some
but
poor
I just need to refer to that.
He's independent, and that is
Okay.
what it is.
All right.
I mean, you just
All
have to
right.
get it.
All right. You see,
3 minutes.
in a democracy, if the government, and I've said it here before, he can bear me out, if the government does not fear the people, the government takes the people for a ride. It is fear.
Which government are you referring to?
I say in a democracy. Okay. All that we are seeing in Kenya now, these changes that are coming, you think Ruto didn't know that there were those changes there? Fear. Fear. Fear of the power of the people has cowed him down. In Ghana, you think in Kenya, if it were told that a minister was going to buy a hotel, that minister would have opportunity to be in existence by now, they will lynch him up. But in Ghana, there's no fear of the people. To the extent.
Would you call it respect for the people rather than fear?
Well, I don't know, but it is something which is lacking in our government.
There's no respect for the people.
You know, you cannot rule the people the way you want. When you are sitting in your cabinet meeting, what should be ringing in your mind is, what would the people say if these policies were undertaken, go out to them? We don't have that in Ghana. What would the people think? How would they feel? So, the example that we have in Kenya is a clear indication that the power of the people is mightier than the power of all security agencies in a country put together. In countries, we have seen instances where the military will even drop their guns and join the crowd. We have seen that.
Yes.
We've seen instances where the military would drop their gun and even run away. So I think that maybe in Ghana, because we are close to the elections, this government is having an honeymoon. But I think that the harm that this government has done to the people of this country, I said it here and I'll say it again, when we survive up to the 7th of December, every Ghanaian will need a certificate of survival. I've said it here and I'll say it again.
Every Ghanaian will need a certificate
of survival, having survived this administration.
Lajantua, your last 3 minutes.
The dictatorship tendencies of President Akufo-Addo doesn't allow him to listen to the people who voted him into power.
Which are those?
And that is a challenge.
Like?
Similar thing, this sale of, the hotels. When, Kenofurata was Minister of Finance, what didn't the people cry out to him about? His own MPs cried out to him. What did he do? Nothing. So there's massive disrespect for the people who put him in power. Ruto has seen wise and said, my power comes from the people. If the people say they don't want it, let me go an extra mile and give them what they want. Did we see it coming?
No.
Did we see him? Did you see it coming?
He came strongly.
It goes to show he.
I think you described him as terrorist.
It goes to show he is listening. And you see,
he was forced to listen.
And you see, when you have somebody like Otumfuo talking, the
Napo one.
The advice he gave to Napo. Do you think he's only giving it to Napo? When you, as a president, you hear that kind of advice, you take it for yourself and try and correct things. What didn't President Akufo-Addo tell us when he was coming into power? What promises didn't he make us? He even went to the extent to tell us that Odo River will become a tourist site. Go and look at Odo River today.
He said Accra will become the cleanest city.
Has it? Has it? So you sit and you don't realize that some of the things I've said, I haven't been able to deliver. Let me find a good way of talking to the people who voted me into power. Does he do it? How can he compare himself to come on? Let's even stop that debate. Don't let us even go there. Don't let us even go there. And you have one of your own comparing you to the first president of Ghana on the things he did, and you sit and you're grinning. You're grinning. Because of what? Because you feel you don't like the man. Look, let me say something and I'll say it straight. Akufo-Addo, Ghana doesn't belong to you. Ghana does not belong to you. We are not subjects of Ghana. We are citizens of Ghana. And it's high time all those who are standing, who want to be presidential candidates and want to be president, remember, the people have the power. Your power is invested in the people. And if the people say, don't go down that route, remember to take heed of it. Otherwise, you suffer for it. Look, unfortunately, Ghanaians Ghanaians have realized that the KKK of the previous years, the coups and all that, haven't helped us. So theirs is, that is pregnant.
The is
yes,
pregnant.
it's very pregnant. And any leader should not take that for granted.
All right.
It's not fear. It's not fear.
It is,
Disrespect that they are saying, sir.
All right.
Let me end by someone sent a note.
By quoting the Bible?
No, he didn't quote the Bible. Mike Kofi Aflu, he sent me a message. He said, if Dr. Baumia wants a debate with H.E. John Dramani Mahama, he should go to the markets in Ghana and debate the market women and see his
Mike Kofi Aflu. Well, let me just also read this one from Mo Ajaman in Kumasi, who says, the debate will be futile at this point. Ghanaians are now fully aware of the country's state and they live it and can see the reality for themselves. If there has to be a debate, it should be organized between Malik Basintali and Sami Ewuku, Sami Jemfi and Kujo Ponkroma, so that they debate among each other and then their peers will listen. Now, I have this one from Umar Farouk Sanirugu, who says, I believe that Kenya is protesting against worse things than everything that is happening in Ghana. Yet, okay, I believe that Kenya is protesting against, I believe that Kenya is protesting, but worse things have happened in Ghana. Yet,
Nobody.
Jack Toronto, who is Jack Toronto? Jack Toronto doesn't care about Ghanaians.
It's a don't you?
Okay. I will grant that Alan is not independent at this point because he was part of the difficulties we are facing. But all the same, he is a strong political leader who could get the attention of voters. All right.
I agree. Roland,
yes. Look,
remember, the Kenya situation did not emanate from the fact that they didn't want a leader. They overwhelmingly voted for him.
For Ruto. Because he promised some drastic changes.
Exactly.
The GTP type of...
Exactly. It was based on
No, but you have to look at
law.
the person who's speaking.
Yeah.
So if a person has integrity, it is a different situation than just making political promises.
Okay.
When you put Alan Chematin's character and record down, performance, integrity, I mean, it's something that anybody can check.
He's a gentle giant.
Not just gentle giant. He doesn't talk too much, but the things that Alan has delivered in the private sector with enterprise development, as ambassador to the US, with all of this AGOA stuff, with Minister under Kufuor, even until right now that we speak.
So you're saying he's a doer?
Alan has put together a policy framework that is changing the entire economy of Africa, not just Ghana, with Africa Continental Free Trade Area Arrangement. You are looking at one policy spearheaded by somebody who is not vice president, who is not president, minister, if you like, I dare say. Okay. And if from that standpoint he tells you, I can handle Ghana, I can turn things around, I mean, it's a no-brainer, seriously.
All right, Landlord D-Line, Landlord from Boga D-Line says, Dr. Baumia, please kindly explain this to me before we even start an argument for a debate. It's only in Ghana that 1 cedis that used to be 2 cedis that went to 4.20 cedis is worse than taking it from 4.2 Ghana cedis to 16 Ghana cedis, and it's still a good argument that could be made even before a debate is undertaken. And Joseph Akasokri says, Dr. Baumia should go and debate the following. Staff of collapsed banks, beneficiaries of NAPCO, staff of collapsed cocoa buying companies, children that could not afford Calipo, which was 50 pesos at the time they were drinking it from their mouths in 2016, and now 5 Ghana cedis, and then 5.5 Ghana cedi depending on where they are buying it. And then saying that the IGP, for not only arresting the dollar, but now hasn't released the key for the dollar and the cedi to be playing cha-cha with each other. Akasokri Joseph. Asanko Santa Maria say, if truly the MPP have the men as they claim, would they have chosen Dr. Bawumia, who has plunged Ghana's economy into bankruptcy? It's a key question. Now, okay, so let me also have this. This one is coming from my good friend who is in Kumasi, Jeso, says, Rafael Sebunsu, says, we have to look at all the indicators in totality. Development has taken place across board, and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and Nana Dankwe Akufo-Addo have done well for Ghana. Olufemi E.G. Makinde says, things are really difficult for Ghanaians, and it is only individual voters who are debating among themselves and will make a decision. Indeed, tomorrow is pregnant. We have a couple. This one's coming from Guy G. He says, even if not for nothing at all, the Vice President and the former President should avail themselves for all this important debate. The presidential debate is very essential. This will let Ghanaians see who has the best leadership skills and ideas to manage corporate Ghana. Guy G, Cantonment, Accra. And so that'll be for now. Thank you very much.
It is former President Olusegun Obasanjo who said that a first fool is not a fool. A second fool is a fool. A third fool is a compound fool. Ghanaians can never be fooled the third time.
I thought that was part of a song somewhere. Felix said, first fool is not a fool, second fool. Let me say good morning to a couple of people. Professor Aku, who is the provost of the Presbyterian University at Abetifi. Good morning to you. And it's coming from Chairman Prosper to you, as well as the Chiamega Apeke Luchu III of the Awudume traditional area. Good morning to you as well. I wish you all the best for the day. Somebody has sent you a message. Yeah. Wow. We have cash out. It goes with the short code *439#. Please, option 2. And let's have some great conversations. Now read before we go.
They promised the aged people a freedom pass to get on public transport for free. See page 129 of the MPP 2016 manifesto. Do they care? They have failed to deliver the promise of a living wage for workers. Page 33 of MPP 2016 manifesto. And are now shamelessly promising chiefs and queen mothers a living allowance. Vice President Bawumia said there are disparities and inequalities in pensions in Ghana. Ghanaian Times, page 15, April 26, 2028. What has his government, 2018, what has his government done to address the disparities? Do they care? All right.
My time is up. Master Planner Kintampo Jr. I agree with Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh on the basis that President Akufo-Addo has performed better than Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. You may not like the way he presented his statement, but you can't take away the fact of the matter. And let us debate this statement based on facts and figures. The project and policy of Akufo-Addo will speak for themselves. Master Planner Jr. Kintampo. And Erickson MK says William Ruto was a vice president and campaigned against his own boss decisions, taxes, and promised to be different. It is the same strategy Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia is undertaking and using right here in Ghana. Ruto, Bawumia are all from the same stock. We're taking a break. We'll be right back. Thank you all for passing.